Hello and welcome to this very special interview. Joining me today is one of India's sharpest personal finance minds, Feroze Azeez, who's the Deputy CEO at Anand Rathi Wealth Management. Someone you've been following, all of you, for a very long time. And it's wonderful, Feroze, to have you here on the Money Mile. Feroze, in these difficult times, a lot of people have faced job losses, a lot of people have faced salary cuts. And in this environment where, you are suddenly faced with a situation of a complete loss of income and you're relying only on your savings to exist or survive, what is it that people can do to, help themselves tide over this problem from a financial standpoint?
See, any financial problem can be overcome with some degree of planning. So that's my piece of advice to a youngster who might have got into a situation because of the the economic situation, you having lost a job. Losing a job is one thing. Losing planning capability and losing hope is another. Okay, if your planning capability exists and your hope exists, because it's not your mistake, it's an external factor which is not conducive for a new entrant in the industry who has spent only 3 years, you've still not proved your mettle in the subject area which you're building. So those are the guys who have actually been impacted the most. Because they don't have the savings, they don't have the experience to be the last one to be hit by an economic crisis. So what I'm trying to get to is don't get into a debt trap. Okay, that's the most important piece of advice. What happens is when you lose a job, you go through a syndrome of trying to spend money from your savings to boost your confidence, right? To make yourself feel better. So don't get into that debt trap. That's my first piece of advice. Change your spending patterns dramatically and don't exhaust your reserves in the first 3 months, but last them a year so that you can be more rational with your life. That's point one. Point two is know where you will not keep any outstanding dues, like a credit card. A credit card debt trap is an impossible thing to get out of. Because if you leave 10,000 rupees unpaid for 10 years, you might end up paying 25, 30 lakh rupees as against that 10,000 rupees. That's the kind of interest rates and the compounding of that interest rate which has hit several people. Is why today credit card companies give you so many offers, so many points, so many discounts, cashbacks. These come from being harmful to those indisciplined guys, pay for all of us who are a little more disciplined. So don't be in that group. Be in the group who receives the benefit rather than pays for the guys who are. So to summarize what I'm saying to a guy who might have lost job is try to plan your reserves such that you can stagger it in terms of spending for the longest periods of time. And I'm sure planning helps. Second is don't get into a debt trap. Identify all your loans and arrange them in the descending order of hatred. So credit card dues are not to be taken. Personal loans, second. Third, if you have a car loan, you're still okay. So you please arrange them in the descending order of interest rate and clear off the first ones, even if you have to borrow from a ladder. Okay, so some degree of loan management can bring in a lot of efficiency into tiding through these circumstances.
Been a pleasure talking to you, Feroze. Thank you very much and wish you all the very best. These are difficult times. You're doing a lot of good, hard work, advising and hand-holding your customers. So wish you all the very best. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Vivek.